In this video, I will discuss multidimensional arrays in C#. So there are two types, rectangular arrays and jagged arrays. Again, I have the code in behind a button and my output will appear then in the text box. Now, firstly, the rectangular array. So you see here where it's declared there are square brackets, but it doesn't say what size either dimension is. Now, when we look here, there is an array, so the first set of curly brackets distinguishes that that's an array, and inside each element is an array. So there are three arrays here, the one at position 0, the one at position 1, and the one at position 2. So that is the first dimension, contains three arrays, and the second dimension is each array. Now I'm just going to pause this while I draw in a diagram here. Now, so this is a diagram of my array. So nums is a reference variable that refers to an int array. This array has three elements in it, and each element refers to a separate array. So an array of arrays. With the rectangular array, each of the arrays must be the exact same size. So in this example, each array has two elements in it. Now, to show you the for loop there, to loop through a two-dimensional array. So the for loop where you've got the first part sets up your counter. The second part needs to is your condition, but we're going to go through the size of the first dimension. So that will be nums dot, and then for the array, we're going to have get length. And what am I getting the length of? I'm getting the length of 0, which is the first dimension. So nums.getLength0, I'm just going to pop that up here, just alongside this. So nums.getLength0, that will give back 3. And then I need to increment my counter, so it'll be I++. And now, for when you're looping through a two-dimensional array, you need two for loops. So the second one, the counter there, is traditionally called j. So I for the first for loop and j for the inner for loop. And now it will be j less than nums.getLength. And now what am I getting the length of now? 1, which is the second dimension. And here just increment j. So nums.getLength 1. So that will return each time the length of the second dimension, or the number of elements in the second dimension. So in this example, because it's a rectangular array, it will always return 2. Now, just to finish this off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to output the value just into the text box, text output.text, and just concatenate on, so as it loops, it'll concatenate the values on. Now, I'm going to need a new line, so just so this doesn't get too messy, I'm going to use that string interpolation, so I've got the $sign before my string. And now I'm just going to put in I there. Oh, sorry, curly brackets, and then I, and not I, apologies. The name of the array, nums square bracket I square bracket j. Just make sure that that is correct there. So nums. Now I've just put spaces in there, so just so that it's easier to read. So we've got nums. I have written that wrong. I've written that as if I was a Java programmer. So nums, I comma j. So I comma j. Now, what I want to output here after that as well is I'm going to go with, we'll go with the space. And what I'll do is I'll just put a new line after each dimension. The text plus equals, and then environment.newline. Now let me run this to make sure that that's okay. Now, so my multi-dimensional array, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, that is printed out there. Okay, so basically the outer loop is going to execute 3 times. It'll give us access to the first element, the second element, and the third element. The inner loop is going to execute twice each time it's on when it's at position 0. The inner loop will execute twice when it moves on. The outer loop goes to position 1. The inner loop will execute twice, and then the outer loop will go to the third element in the array, and then the inner loop will go twice there to get at 5 and 6. Okay, and that is the rectangular array. Okay, I will put the jagged array there in my next video.